Hey everybody, it's John here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Overwatch archives going for the Blood Moon Rising achievement. This one's going to be able to be done whenever the challenge missions are going to be available in the arcade. This one is going to be a remix of Storm Rising. It's going to be the first one, so make sure you pick that. You're going to be limited to just DPS characters, so make sure you try to pick some DPS characters who can at least heal. So I'm going to recommend Soldier 76 and Bastion. The other two players can be whoever they want to be, so just make sure you try to pick someone who is usable to you. And then once you get that out of the way, we can start up the game. The gimmick with this one is it's going to be Storm Rising on expert difficulty. However, you can't use any healing characters, obviously, nor can you use any tanks. Also, whatever healing you can pull off as a DPS character is going to be reduced significantly. That being said, any damage you do to the enemies is going to heal you, so as long as you are keeping the fire up, you are going to be able to heal yourself passively by just damaging the enemies. Alright, so thankfully Bastion, who's going to be your main damage dealer, as he is often, can heal himself, and then Soldier 76 is going to have the only healing ability that can heal the team. So make sure you do take advantage of those two whenever you can. The healing is going to be significantly nerfed, so make sure you try to not over-rely on it, and make sure you try to keep the firepower up.
Track of Max once he got inside. They sealed the place up tight and our satellites are blind. Be ready for any...
Once you push up to the front door of the distillery, you're going to pull a random special. It can either be an assassin or a sniper. If it's an assassin, make sure everyone clusters up together and backs up to the gas station. That way you are ready to knock her off, whoever she pounces on. If it's a sniper, you have a pretty wide open lane to try to take her out, so try your best to stay around the corner, thin out the enforcers the best you can, and then make sure you try to land a clear shot on her. So make sure you try to pop her from all the way back here. Try your best to take her out, and if you can't, you can always rely on your team's specials or anyone's ultimates who can take her out super duper quickly. Once you manage to take out either one of the specials, you are going to move up and then get those distillery doors open, and then we're going to make our push up. So once you do your initial sweep of the distillery and take out all of the starting enemies, we're going to make our way up to the storage room, and that's where we're going to hunker down. So make sure everyone hits up the back staircase, and we're just going to hold this point like we normally would do in any Storm Rising run.
Hang tight while I get you a way out. I show multiple Talon units converging on your position.
They're dropping from above! Get over here and heal up.
Watch for the enemy snipers.
Watch for the sniper. Someone take out that sniper. Everyone, heal up. Enemy forces incoming! assassin's dead.
Alright, should be easy peasy to do the first hold of the storage room. Once the heavy drops in, we're going to have to ditch the storage room. So try to lay in on him the best you can while you still have the vantage point up here. Someone's going to want to post up on the staircase and then try to pull him in. It's going to be very helpful if you can bait him into using his dash so he can crash into the wall and then get stunned a bit. Then everyone's going to ditch out of the window, and then we're going to press on with our normal distillery loop. So this one's going to be super duper easy, especially if you are familiar with doing several Storm Rising runs. So I make sure everyone just jump out the window. Make sure you head to the back hallway. You're going to want 2 people on the close door. One person goes to the back door, and then everyone's going to keep an eye out on which door the heavy is going to take, and they're going to take the opposite out and then press on with the loop. So either path you are going to take is going to end up in the little overhanging office. So make sure you try to get everyone over there A-okay. And then we're going to try to pull the heavy over there. And then while we are in the office, we could take advantage of this nice little vantage point as he's trying to fumble his way over here. So everyone's going to post up in the window right here. Bastion's going to enter turret mode and just unload on the heavy. He's only going to have one way into the office, which is going to be up the stairs. So lots of room to fire in on him from here. Take advantage of anyone's ultimates the best you can, and you should be able to whittle him down super duper quickly, thankfully. Once he starts pushing on the staircase, everyone's going to back up to this hallway. You can kind of shoot him from this window right here, shooting into the office, but once he starts to make a further push, everyone's going to back up right here into this hallway. You can make kind of another stand right there in that hallway if you want to. Just be careful of his dash. If you can try to bait him into dashing into the wall and stun him, but once the coast is clear, just make sure you try to reset the loop by cutting across the distillery floor and making it back to the storage room. So everyone's going to back up right here, and everyone's going to try their best to hold the staircase. Again, it's going to be super useful if you could bait him into dashing into the wall to stun him. But of course, you can just use all this extra space to just lay into him from super duper far away. And because we are running 4 DPS characters, you should have more than enough firepower to handle all of the regular enemies at the same time. But obviously focus on the heavy the best you can, and then we're just going to lay in on him until he starts breaching the staircase. Once it's safe to do so, we're going to bail and ditch out the window, and then we're just going to continue the loop like normal. So everyone back to the hallway, and then 2 people on the close door, 1 person on the far door. Make sure everyone keeps an eye out where the heavy is following, and then just make sure you adjust the loop accordingly.
Come on, back in the saddle.
Writing personality, Echo Online.
So as long as you stick to that loop, you shouldn't have any difficulty in trying to take out the heavy. Once he finally goes down, everyone's going to move up, make sure everyone takes care of all of the stragglers on the distillery floor, and we're going to make our way over to the truck to start our payload escort.
The seaport. There's a truck with explosives near your position. You're gonna need them to get inside.
Alright, so same as our previous Storm Rising runs, which one you just want to make sure you have everyone stay on the escort until it gets out onto the street. Then everyone's going to abandon it, and then everyone's going to take cover and then take out the enemies from behind the payload. Just like before, the payload isn't going to have a health bar, so you can just take your sweet time with it as it can't take any damage. So just make sure you jump off the payload and then make sure you stay behind it for cover. The Bastion can post up on top of it for a better vantage point. Again, this is going to be expert difficulty, so the enemies shouldn't hit too hard, and thankfully the Bastion can heal itself. So just make sure you have the Bastion take point on the truck, and then you should be able to push up easy peasy. Once you round this corner, you are going to get the specials to drop in. Again, it's going to be random which ones you pull, so hopefully you get something that's more favorable to your team build. So either snipers or assassins can come out here. And of course, the golden strategy for both is to just pull them back past this tower right here. If it's snipers, just make sure you take them out from far away. The snipers aren't going to be able to move up past the tower. If it's going to be the assassins, just make sure you pull them away from the normal enemies, and that way you have an easier time of dealing them. Pull them all the way back to the distillery if totally necessary. And then once the coast is clear, we're going to move back to the payload and then continue to push it up. Once you get it past the bridge, you're going to get another set of specials that spawn in. Again, make sure you apply whatever strategy is appropriate to the type of special. So if it's snipers, try to pull them back out into the open. And if it's assassins, just make sure you pull them back and then try to deal with them by themselves. So make sure you try to pull them away from any normal enemies. So it's going to be super duper easy to deal with them right here out in the open. And then just keep backing up once you start getting swarmed by a ton of normal enemies. Go all the way back to the distillery if totally necessary, but obviously make sure everyone sticks together. If you're dealing with an assassin, if dealing with the snipers, you're pretty safe as long as you hide behind this corner and you can take your time dealing with the enemies. Once the road is all cleared, we're going to make our way back to the payload, and we're going to make the final push into the castle. So just make sure you take care of any stragglers, and we're just going to nudge it forward. Once we get it into the castle, we're going to have to deal with another crescendo of enemies and specials. So just make sure you abandon the castle entirely. Just make sure you back up and then get everyone to the safe side of the bridge, and we're just going to hold the bridge and then back up whenever super necessary. So that's obviously going to be whenever the specials come in.
Then blow the door.
Dropship coming in hot. Deployed a sniper. Watch for the sniper.
She's still out.
Get over here and heal up.
We're taking casualties.
Come on,
She's
back
on
in the
you.
center. Watch out, sniper deployed. Someone put a bullet in that sniper. That's done with.
Watch for the enemy snipers.
Get back in there. Everyone, heal up.
Thankfully, on this difficulty, you should be able to hold the bridge without any trouble. You don't have to back up super far unless you are absolutely struggling to hold the bridge. You definitely want to start backing up once the heavy drops in, though. Again, because this is expert difficulty, we only have to deal with one heavy, so you have that to look forward to. My best advice is once he drops in, everyone's going to fall back to the distillery, and we're just going to use the same loop from earlier. So everyone's going to get back, and then we're going to just pop shots into the heavy as he's making his way up here. He is going to be super duper slow moving, so easy peasy. You can just take advantage of this big open area and just whittle him from far away. But once things start to get too dicey with the enemy fire, just make sure everyone starts to back up and then take up positions to get ready to loop him. So everyone's going to start backing up to the storage room, so everyone hits up the back staircase, and then everyone's going to pile in on here. 2 people on the staircase, 2 people in the window, and you should have a clear view, and then you just pop shots in on him from super duper far away. Make sure you take advantage of anyone's ultimates if they have them, and you should be able to land a ton of damage in on him before you even start your first loop, so super duper easy peasy. Once he starts to breach the staircase, you're going to do the same strategy, so make sure everyone just bails out of the window, and then everyone hits up the hallway, and we're just going to apply the same looping process.
Behind you! Personality duplication complete.
Easy.
Now, the only difference with using the distillery for this later loop is that this door right here in this hallway is going to be open, so whenever you are trying to cut that corner getting away from the overhanging office, you're going to have to watch out if enemies are going to be coming through that door. So that's the only real thing you have to worry about in terms of this being different from the initial distillery loop. But again, it's going to be pretty much a foolproof strategy, especially when only dealing with one heavy on the expert difficulties. So we're just going to keep looping it around, and we're just going to whittle it slowly, but eventually we should be able to take it out. Easy peasy.
Get over here and heal up. Couple speed.
Going free!
Come on, back in the saddle.
Lifting off.
Team, heal up here.
Down he goes.
Watch your six. Come here and get stabilized.
Once you finally take out the heavy after several loops, you should be good for the mission practically. The only thing you have to do left is to make it back to the C4 in one piece to set off the explosives on the truck. So hopefully the Soldier 76 player can pick everyone back up to full health, and then you shouldn't have any trouble getting there. As you can see, most of the enemies aren't going to even spawn, but just be careful of any stragglers that are still roaming around. Make sure you just take them out, and as long as you get to that truck to set it off, you should be good for the mission complete. Super duper easy peasy, so make sure you get to practicing those loops and you should be through the harder parts of the mission a-okay. Set that truck off and then blow up the castle gates, and then the mission complete should be ours. There's our victory screen, the mission complete, and the achievement that goes along with all of that. It's going to be for a 15 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.